Coach, we're here at Marion High School, which is a fairly decent-sized town in southern Illinois. I've been impressed just looking at it as I looked at what Marion had done, and this is some of the guys I look for in when I deal with Chief Pigskin is when a man shows up and things change. How did you? What are some of the things you used when you came to Marion to achieve that change, to get that done?
Well, it's an interesting story because the first 3 years I had the head coaching job here, things didn't go well. A lot of the things I had tried in the past that had been successful at 3 other schools weren't working here. And I had to do some serious reevaluation. And basically what I did after my first 3 seasons with an 8-win total after 3 years was I sat down and made a decision either to leave and give someone else the opportunity to win here, because I knew somebody was going to win here. I was hoping it would be me. I decided to either move on or start from scratch. And so what I basically decided to do was I sat down one night and I fired myself for not doing a very good job. And I decided to hire myself back in my mind and start over again. And I began to search for a new offensive scheme and a different way to approach the game. And I heard a pretty successful coach say at a clinic talk that year that maybe he was running a blue-collar offense in a white-collar town, and I thought that maybe I'm doing the same thing. And I think I developed went to an offensive system that was more fitting with the type of kid we have at Marion. I think we looked at some different ways to motivate kids to get in the weight room, and I think the right group of kids came along about that time too, that were really willing to buy into what we were doing. So I think it was a combination of a lot of things. But on that 4th year, we went 5-4 and made the playoffs, and that was really a transition for us.
So now, if now that you have things rolling right now, which I would consider rolling, you guys are having some success. What types of things now, as a coach in the off season, do you sit down and say, what can I be doing better now? Do you still do that now that you've got it rolling? And what types of things do you really look to improve on now?
We reevaluate everything every year. We believe we've got a pretty good system in place, but we feel like it needs to be tweaked every single year for the type of kid that we've got coming, and maybe the strengths and weaknesses of our personnel and the strengths and weaknesses of our coaching staff. And I think we're constantly in a battle against the other programs that we play to continue to get better, to improve, to tweak what we do, to take what we do and make it better. So I think you've got to stay hungry, you've got to stay current, and we have scoured the clinic talks, and we have been on the line and been watching and looking at your website and just constantly trying to find things that fit our system and try to improve what we do. So, and I think it keeps it fresh for the kids. The kids like little things that are different, maybe a new passing concept or play or two or offensive package. So never-ending process. The game is very competitive. Coaching continues to get better, and we just feel like we've got to keep evolving.
Great. If I talk specifically about your program, if I came to see a freshman game at Marion, am I going to see much of the same things that I'm seeing at a varsity game? I know some coaches give their freshman coach a lot of freedom, and maybe so that it can be fun for the coach, where other coaches have the philosophy of, this is our scheme, I need these guys practicing it. Where do you fall in there?
Well, we know that there are things at the freshman level that they may not be able to do that we're doing at the varsity level, but we want the basic concepts, the fundamentals, and the techniques to be the same. We certainly want the terminology to be the same. We want as much carryover as we can get from their freshman year to their varsity experience. And so they can tweak the schemes a little bit. Maybe instead of a 4-2, they need to run a 4-4 because they see a little more run at the freshman level, or maybe they want to spend a little more time in our change of pace offense, over our shotgun system. That's okay. As long as it stays within our system, as long as the terminology remains the same, the formation calls and so forth, and we're a no-huddle offense. We use wristbands. We want them to continue doing that and teach that aspect of it. We feel like those are the things that matter the most. We understand that they may need to do some different things. We've been blessed lately to have our junior high program from the 5th grade on running our offensive system now, and we've got them using wristbands, and they're using our terminology. So the carryover from that level to the freshman year has made that transition for our kids much easier.
Some spread guys, and I don't know if you call yourself a spread guy, I know you guys run the spread. They're getting it down inside the 5-yard line, and this is coming from me, and I tell everyone I am not a spread guy. When I get inside the 5, it's easy for me.
Right.
Now we're going to punch harder. What do you do when you get inside the 5?
Well, I think it's important to have a red zone or goal line package, and not only that, but you practice that on a weekly basis. I mean, I think a lot of times teams spend too much time practicing their spread offense in the wide open spaces in the field, and they fail to work on that element of the game, those situational, periods in a game. And I believe you can be good anywhere on the field in any situation if you practice it enough. And so we have a red zone and goal line package that we make sure we practice out of our spread. And we also have what we call a change and pace offense, which is a very tight I formation where we can power the football when we need to. And because we practice it, we feel pretty confident either way getting the ball in the end zone. We narrow that play sheet down to what we think we can best do in those situations. We practice it and try to be successful down there.
So tell me, Coach, what is the next step for Marion? What are the goals for these guys, your players, for you and your coaching staff? What do you guys see as your next step?
Well, we're trying to build a consistent winner. We're trying to be obviously a playoff team year after year after year and continue the tradition that we've had the last 5 years. But at the same time, we've kind of knocked on the door. We've been a quarterfinal team, we've been a semifinal team, and that's been great. But we've not made it to that next level. And it's a constant pursuit to find out what those teams are doing to get to that next step that we're not doing. And I think that keeps us hungry. That keeps us wanting to keep pushing the program, keep pushing the kids to another level. And I think it's important in the off season that you're setting goals for your individual players, but goals for your team. And I think as a coaching staff, you've got to find out, what do we need to do to improve this program to go to that next final level and get there and stay there. And I'm fortunate to have a great coaching staff that remains motivated, and they're helping me keep the kids motivated and reminded that we need to take continued steps.
Coach, thanks for joining us, and good luck in 2010.
Well, thanks for what you're doing as well. Thanks.